Bo Nickal says Shara Bullet is an easy fight, and in my opinion, if you're going to say this, you have to come out and prove it, and the UFC should let him prove it. Enough of the matchups where you're just trying to make him look good, give him a Paul Craig, even though he's a minus 1,200 favorite. We get it. They're trying to build up Bo Nickal. But if that's the case, give him Shara Bullet. A lot of people would think that he beats Shara Bullet, and I think Shara wants the opportunity. And, I don't think it's as easy of a fight as some people think. I think Shara in the feet, after what we saw of Bo Nickal striking against Paul Craig of all people, Shara Bullet's going to be a problem in the striking department. And not just that, if you get Shara Bullet down on the floor, you're going to have to deal with elbows from the bottom. You're going to have to deal with punches from the bottom. I think Shara Bullet's going to be able to be active enough off of his back to do some damage on Bo Nickal. This is not a foregone conclusion that Bo Nickal beats Shara Bullet. And even if it is another one, still, he has to go out there and prove it, man. If he's going to say he's an easy fight, let's see you make him an easy fight. Because Paul Craig wasn't an easy fight for you. You get what I'm saying? What are we talking about easy fight here? Because he also said 90 seconds. He also said Shara doesn't last 90 seconds. And if that's the case, you have to show that. You have to actually be that guy that goes out there and gets those finishes, like a Khamzat Chimaev, for example. I thought after Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker, I thought Bo Nickal would be itching to show his dominance and do what Khamzat did to Whittaker, but just do that to Paul Craig, which I think he's capable of. Bo Nickal has no reason to fear Paul Craig's jiu-jitsu at all. He went toe-to-toe with Gordon Ryan. So this idea that, I'm not going to take down Paul Craig because that's his world. Bro, that's supposed to be your world too. You're the dominant wrestler, are you not? Aren't you the world? Aren't you the guy that can make a world team today? That's what people are saying about you, bro. But yet you're going to go in there and strike with Paul Craig instead of just doing what you do, taking him down and taking him into your world as well. Because striking is not your world, bro. That's 50-50 for you. Bo Nickal is more Ben Askren than he is Dan Henderson. All those overhands that were landing, they had no power behind them, and he needed like 50 of them in order to finally hurt Paul Craig. And then when he did finally hurt Paul Craig, he hesitated and he froze. I know you guys saw this. He literally froze and allowed for Paul Craig to recover. He did not show that killer instinct. I've got other videos on this. Check them out on the page. This is how I feel about Bo Nickal, man. He's also kind of oblivious to why he gets the criticism. He's on Ariel Helwani's show complaining about the expectations that people have, saying, it's Paul Craig, I don't know what you want out of me. Whatever. It's like, dude, how about the way you talk? Just back it up. That's what we want. If you're saying Shara Bullet doesn't last 90 seconds, you have to prove that. If you're saying that you can beat Khamzat Chimaev and you're saying that you could beat Israel Adesanya and Islam Makhachev doesn't have as good wrestling as you and things like this, if you're saying that, you gotta show and prove. You know what I mean? You can't go the distance with a Paul Craig when you're a minus 1,200 favorite. You can't do it. The only redeemable quality of Bo Nickal's performance at UFC 309 was that he stood on it and met the crowd with their backlash head on. He didn't shy away from it. He said, no, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I just did this to Paul Craig, blah, blah, blah. And he leaned into that, and it made him more of like a heelish person, but definitely a personality that people will definitely want to see lose. Which is good, though. That's a good spot to be in. It's a good money-making spot. He could get some nice publicity off of that, is the point I'm making. But when it comes to Bo Nickal, I don't think he wants that kind of publicity. I don't think he wants to be the heel. I think he wants to be liked. I do. And he doesn't like when the Madison Square Garden card in front of Donald Trump is booing him. He doesn't quite understand it. And hopefully he'll learn. Hopefully, I doubt it. But I think we're seeing a shift in the fans' perspective of him, and we're seeing possibly his limits. To me, the Paul Craig fight was very concerning, and it's because Paul Craig is not supposed to deter you from taking him down. Islam Makhachev beat Charles Oliveira. Why? Because when he dropped Charles Oliveira, unlike Gaethje, Chandler, Dustin Poirier, unlike all of them, Islam Makhachev went headfirst into his guard, passed his guard, and popped his head off with the arm triangle. He showed no fear in the grappling at all. And that's what Bo Nickal needs to have. if Bo Nickel wants to be this dominant force that he's proclaiming himself to be, and what everyone's saying, oh, it's not a matter of if, it's when he becomes UFC champion. If that's where people want to rank him, he has to show and prove that. And to me, a striking battle for 15 minutes with Paul Craig didn't show and prove that. It just didn't. But that's my perspective. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree. It does not matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.